Hello and welcome to Season 1, Staying Relevant with the Masterly. I am Meenal Desai, the Masterly, and I share a medley of my unique experiences shaped by students, teachers, parents, and life in general. And in this season, I'm going to share how I stay relevant, how we can stay relevant, and how we can make the most out of these unprecedented times. So, without much ado, let's begin with something that I truly enjoy doing. Many of you might wonder what exactly do you do when you go back home and how do you unwind? Honestly, I love my work so much that I rarely need to unwind. I love to carry what has happened in the day to my bed and I love to stay with it. But I've also noticed the importance of downtime. It helps me look at things from different perspectives. And one of the ways I do that is to go out for a walk or run. But something very unusual that I do is embroidery. Yes, basic, simple stitches that help me keep myself occupied, something that keeps the hands busy and the mind at bay. I love the whole idea of being with the fabric and the thread and simply going through the motions of embroidery. I'm not great at it and I really need a tutor who can help me do better. I try to learn different stitches. YouTube is my go to space for that. And just by using YouTube, I've learned basic stitches. I've created scarves for myself. I've created toran for home. And I'm constantly in this endeavor to learn a new stitch and give it a try. But you know how did I pick it up? I picked it up in my childhood when my mother used to bring me those simple anchor stitch kits. They were very simple. It was color coded. It was threading for something like what we have the coloring books for. I enjoyed spending my summer vacations doing that. And that has stayed with me. One of the best things about embroidery is it takes away the screen time. I don't end up being on Insta and Facebook and mindlessly scrolling through the feed. It helps me connect with myself. And one of the side effects I've seen about it is rubbing off on my children. My girls will play around, come in and see me doing this, and they will wonder why this color here and why not this one here. What exactly am I making? They will give it their own shot and poke themselves with the needle. But all said and done, I think those moments are the ones that leave an indelible mark on our psyche. As they grow up, they will see me occupying myself, and hopefully, they will also learn to put the mobiles away and do something more meaningful and to stay relevant by bringing the past to the present. This, for me, is a basic, simple hobby, but a lot of people also make a great vocation out of hobbies. I know of so many NGOs who work with women, who work with the rural folk, and they create such beautiful masterpieces that I'm amazed by it. It is something that has made a lot of artisans much better off, and it is something that we in India need to preserve if we need to stay relevant. As Indians, we have a rich heritage, and it remains our duty to keep it intact, not by creating posters about it, but by actually doing it in the homes with our children, with our daughters, with our sons. And one such guest I would want to invite for discussion about this is Jasmine. Jasmine is this amazing woman who found that there is so much that our rural artisans are creating and so much that our cities need. She is connecting the two, and she is somebody we are going to talk about bringing the hobbies to vocation. So, Jasmine, could you tell me a little bit about the work you do and for our listeners, for our viewers, what exactly brought you to do that?
Sure. I would start with, I am basically an electronics and telecommunication engineer. and I used to work with railways and then with commission of schools. But
My God.
as
So engineering to railways to embroidery to commissioner. Wow, wow.
So then, as family demanded, I had to leave my job and look after my kid. And then I had this passion of embroidery since I was in 8th standard. We are based out in Gandhidham, that is near Bhuj. So at that time, in 2001, there was earthquake and all. So in 8th standard, my mom had taken me to some classes of embroidery, and then at that moment I grabbed this passion of embroidery. So that was in my mind since quite long. I did this, I'm good at it. I had to look after my family and everything. I had to look after my kid. So I transformed this hobby into a passion, into a profession.
Okay. Great to know that. So instead of feeling let down and saying that I'm unable to follow my dreams, you kind of found a midway which helps you meet both the things. That's amazing to know, Jasmine. But tell me something. You said you worked with the railways and all of that. So, how different is this working with, say, the artisans or working with people of a different kind vis a vis working in a corporate job or an office environment?
It is quite different because in a corporate job and this as a passion, you have to take the ownership of your work. So it is really very different and very difficult at times.
Okay. Could you tell us a little bit about the work you do, the artisans that you work with, and how do you really
Okay.
operate?
So regarding my firm, it is like that we do the designing portion and we do the embroidery on the home linen basically. And for the as far artisans are concerned, we take care that they do not have to come out of their homes and do embroidery for us. These are all the senior citizens based in villages in Gujarat, and we send them the parcels, the things which are they're supposed to embroider by India Post, and they do the work and send back to us by the same means. And they get the payment in their bank account. So we help them open the bank accounts, we help them to follow their passion. In fact, few of our artisans are planning that they want to open an embroidery class in their own villages. So yes, we are helping them in that way as well.
Amazing. So, how many artisans do you work with, Jasmine, at the moment?
Not more, but just 10-15 of them, those who need this work and those who are actually passionate about embroidery work.
Okay. So essentially, I am a woman living in a remote village in Gujarat or India somewhere, and you somehow get in touch with me. You send me a piece of cloth or linen with the detailing and all done, saying that this is what you will need. These are the colors we'll be using. When you say design, I believe you give them very specific instructions about what colors to use and where to embroider and all of that.
Yes, we in fact make a small sample and send it to them, and then they follow the sample.
Okay. And then they follow the sample, they embroider the whole thing and they send it back to you.
Yes.
Wow. Amazing. And I'm sure your business is surging ahead, and I'm sure there is a lot of demand for handwork. So it is great to know that. Could you tell us any particular experience or a particular instance about your journey as an entrepreneur, or something that moved you, or something that tells you that there is so much more to turning your hobby into a profession?
So when I started, it was just a hobby, nothing else. I mean, I started it just because I was interested in doing embroidery. But as we moved ahead, I mean, ladies who are going through depression, ladies who are going through bad times, they also started joining us. So this hobby turned into a helping hand by God's grace, and this feeling comes to me all the time, each month, because every month we have new artisans joining us. And yes, ladies even move out of this because they want to pursue their own dreams further into embroidery and all. So this change that yes, they joined us and they moved ahead in their lives and their dreams is a very good feeling that I get every month almost.
Wow. So there's that sense of accomplishment that we helped somebody achieve their dreams. That somebody who joined you now has a better, bigger purpose to
Yes,
achieve in their
yes.
life. Wow, that's a great thing to know. Honestly, when I back home when I embroider my basic stuff, I do none of this. I only keep my hands busy and mind free. But it was great to meet you, Jasmine, and to talk about the work that you do. And I hope that one fine day everybody in India is able to find meaningful work and make their living.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am.
That's me, the Master Nee, signing off from here, talking about how do we stay relevant in these times. Tell me about what you do to stay relevant, and I would love to listen more about this. And if you too are fond of embroidery, let's connect. I'd love to meet you.